Hey Virgo. Okay. So this is the activation day. I found that when I went through my ephemeris, there was a date in January where all of the personal planets would be at 1 degrees, and the moon would be also moving through 1 degrees. So the moon will be in Sagittarius, conjunct Juno. In Eastern Standard Time, it's actually on the rising, which is really cool. Venus is at 1 degrees. Mercury is at 1 degrees. Mars is at 1 degrees. And the moon will be over at 1 degrees and moving. So when this occurs, for you, Virgo, there is a karmatic response. This is a really big deal when it comes to the way that you connect to your roots. There is an asteroid named Karma, which is also at 1 degrees Virgo, specifically in your sign, that is going to be making a beautiful trine, grand trine with Mars and Venus in the relative Earth signs. When this happens, there will be a creative spark from you that feels like it came from a past life. You're going to feel inspired, you're going to feel sexual, you're going to feel confident and creative, no doubt. The big lessons that you got in the new way of organizing your life and riding the waves of unpredictability over the last 2.5 years, those are really going to take shape now. And I think there's going to be a new illumination, almost like there's a good chance it could come from a mother figure because the moon is involved here. But there will definitely be feminine responses and feminine support that comes in a material sense, in a physical sense, that you're going to feel from this activation. All of us are getting superpowers, and for you, Virgo, it's the karma. You very much reap the karma of situations, folly and pure. And from this point forward, you will be known as karmatic being. The way that you personify practicality and stead-filled motion, the way that you personify your earthly qualities will come to you through karmatic responses of the universe. So when you provide those beautiful qualities that you already own, Virgo, there is going to be an immediate response from the universe that triggers a collective domino effect. And with your 5th and 6th house being so highlighted, Capricorn and Aquarius are very strong in this activation day. Aquarius especially is your 6th house, which means that it's Saturn ruled, which is why you are so good at the material, at the details, because you could actually see how everything is interconnected, and how everything does have a reactive response. This is manifesting in a brand new way for you. That daily life of yours is undertaking in a completely new makeover for this new world. This isn't the old you, and you will not be moving in the same way you used to. Not only did you get a new boat, but you got a new motor, and the water's a different color. Like, it's a completely different world for you, and you're leading very, very much so. Now, there is still a very ethereal relationship that you have with partnering other people. It's been this way for a decade or more now, since you've really tapped into that spiritual connection that you have with your partners and how you prefer to have that psychic connection with your partners. That's getting very serious now. The asteroid for Demeter is with Neptune in your 7th house now. That really relates to the serious karmatic relationships that you choose to take on. You reach people spiritually through your partnerships. Obviously, you always have. Because if they don't know how to get to your spirit, they're never going to get past that mind of yours. But now there's a seriousness of the consequence that happens when you don't have a spiritual connection with someone, when you can't read their mind or have them comprehend what you're thinking and what you're communicating. And those, no doubt, those motions and that movement of partnering differently and connecting with people one-on-one in a different way has really hindered that, that ego wound that you have. You have Aries as your natal 8th house, and Chiron has been coming through there for over a year and a half, almost 2 years now, and it's heavy. That is the ego wound that everybody has. And for you, dear Virgo, having Mars ruling your 8th house, you like to push your way through losses and pain and struggle. And you like to, run the warrior lap. But that hasn't been a thing for you for a while, because there is a wound in you when it comes to working or doing anything for yourself. You have this agonizing wound that tells you whatever you do, it has a domino effect. It affects other people. And that's been a shame and a pain activation for you for a long time. That's going to change now, because this new alignment, this new understanding of the way that you do have a karmic effect on everyone is an empowering thing, because now you can actually show your effect in a positive way, in a healing way. Your ruler is in your 6th house for the next few weeks. It will eventually go through a retrograde in the beginning of 2021. But for this part, it is all focusing on changing your routines, shifting that element and activating that new purpose, that new way. You already are doing it, really. You picked it up when Uranus entered Taurus back in April 2018, and it's been reactivated and reactivated over and over in you until you realize that this is actually the way you're supposed to move now. Mars is coming into Taurus, and this squares your identity. This is a focus and a push. Trines your identity. It's a focus and a push on what you're planning to be, where you're planning to go, what you want to do, and that has a direct effect on the fate of your jobs. You're supposed to shine now. And sometimes when you shine in a place that doesn't fit you, that won't work well for that place. And you'll be asked to leave and shine somewhere else. And that's okay. We don't want to be where we're not wanted. There are places where you are accepted and wanted and appreciated for your wonderful gifts. So take that in stride. Do not be where you're not appreciated. Now is the time to move. Especially on education. You really could learn a lot in a very small amount of time right now. There is a lot of focus on your relationships and your love section right now, because you've made changes, because you took those hits, earlier this year in your relationship sector. You saw a lot of people not stand up for their word, not be dependable, not be honest, not be accountable, and fall. And you saw it. And now you know what the standard is. And that's being illuminated right now. And anybody who's not going to hold that standard isn't going to make it through. And that's okay. It's fine to stand alone. If it means that you're at least not weaning your power out or leaking your power out to power up other people who aren't meant to be with you in the first place. The moon is in Sagittarius. This will square you from the root So there will be things from home, from women, that really come up and bust up this activation. But it is truly about you being a karmatic effect on everyone around you through the way that you aspire to be great and through the way that you practically and steadfastly love and appreciate people. Like you are the goddess. And this is the time for you to show how much love is important. Your way of creative loving people, creatively giving to children in the most strong and resilient way. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. It's going to be a beautiful year for you.